So I'll do
All
my
right.
best, but I might ask my colleagues, particularly Dr. Moya and Andre, to come in and
Fill in.
tag team, because I'm not the greatest policy guru in the world.
Yeah.
I learned a while ago you surround yourself with very strong people in that regard. So from that point of view, let me just start by saying that nothing that we propose in terms of reforming illegal immigration is in conflict with the Constitution, because the very first principle of a nation state starts with the border, and starts with the idea that a country has not just the right but the obligation to determine the flow of people and goods across their border and under what conditions. Certainly, I do want to say this, is ActionSA is very sensitive to the fact that we can never have a situation where immigrants are scapegoated for the failures of government. The failures in terms of illegal immigration belong at the door of government and nobody else. And that's where we will place those failures in the 2024 campaign. But certainly what our policy has to be very clear about is that our borders need to be guarded and protected far more closely so that it isn't the free-for-all that is going on right now. That our ports of entry are being protected from what we know is passing through of illicit goods and illegal trade. And that certainly the documentation of people who are entitled to be in our country is taking place, because we must understand that so many of those people who are in this country without documentation, many of them are entitled to it according to our Constitution. And we wish to defend that right, because in many cases those individuals are then vulnerable to the worst forms of exploitation because they have no legal recourse. And it is in balancing that position that ActionSA unapologetically adopts the middle ground, the rational middle ground on the illegal immigration debate, and avoids the extremists on either side of us. And that is an important distinction we wish to make. From a point of view of governance, and I think we must just be quite clear about this, because we want to talk unapologetically about ActionSA and our national policy offering. But our involvement with any other political party in a charter or a coalition doesn't change the fact that our policy process is distinct, it is unique, it is different, and that we will table policies that are unashamedly differentiated from that of even those people that we are in partnerships with. Because it is important to understand, colleagues, that when you sign up to a charter, you don't sign up to become clones of one another. You sign up to be your own distinct political party working in a collaboration. And that collaboration will never change the fact that ActionSA's offer will be distinct from our partners and will offer a political home to many South Africans who would not otherwise find it in the parties in that charter. And we make no bones about that whatsoever. And certainly from the point of view of what has taken place in local government coalition, we will be registering a number of views under our public service policy suite. That is one of the 11 items. We must understand that public service is one of the greatest areas where change can be delivered in South Africa. If you look at the amount of people working in the public service, the multiplying effect of having those people working in a manner which is aligned to strategy, performance managed on the basis of their work, promoting people for the right reasons based on their ability to do the job, are all critical functions to making local government and all other spheres of government work. And we will be presenting a number of remarks in that regard, and any political party that has failed to live up to their commitment to the South African people by refusing to support motions of no confidence, the likes of which we have seen last week, they must own that issue in their election campaign. We're going to own our campaign, and what our campaign says is that when ActionSA stands up and says we will be an alternative to the status quo, you will never find any contradiction in how we are that alternative. And that is the choice that the South African voters must ultimately choose from when they see how these political parties act, like we have seen in Johannesburg last week.